Um, Hi again. Um, I'm reading this book this time of The Haunting of. Uh, I can't see it because of the sticker that was put on. I got it from Target. Um, there's actually a Netflix series on this. The Haunting of Hill House. It's about manifestations, meaning there's something not entirely like um, I wrote on a post-it that there's nothing wrong with the house. It's just it's haunted, like phenomena. Apparently, a doctor lives there, or I'm not sure if the doctor died there. Whoever wrote this book is very like elaborate with his or her words. The author is Shirley Jackson. Um, she explains like stuff like the ceilings, the walls, the shadows on the walls, on the drywall, like um, figures that stray from left to right that leave a scent of perfume. I'm not quite sure if they talk to each other, if they talk to ghosts, or but at some point they get in a car. It says, still no reason why she should be permitted to take my car with her. Somebody got in a car and without permission. In the beginning of it doesn't say on the top of the page like the name of the chapter, so it goes by numbers. Um, hmm. I like dramas like that were filmed overseas, like from the United States to Great Britain. King Lear. I like that show. Sadly, there's only one episode, but it's really long. You could sort of imagine like making a video game out of this book. It's called I know one video game that's kind of like that's called Fatal Frame. You take pictures of the paranormal to make them go away. It's also in the Super Smash Brothers Ultimate as a assist trophy. It's definitely not a Pokeball. It's they you need the assist trophies to help you in the heat of battle in that game for the Nintendo Switch. I think there's at this house it was well constructed with like statues of lions and stuff like that, or things of that sort. So I'm on page 23, 24, and the 20s. She explains things like um, people laughing, um, moments like when people shrug their shoulders. The cover of the book is very like dismal. It shows the picture of the house. So um, it says the haunting of it doesn't I can't see the rest of the words because it has a Target sticker for 14% off the cover price. Just because of the cover, it's worth buying. Looks like there's going to be a visitor, so people come and visit the house. The next page doesn't explain who is going to come over. It just says, I'll open them. I'm going to open them. I just want to be sure you know what's waiting for you in there. You ever been here before? One of the family, maybe. He looked at her now, peering through the bars, comma, his jeering face once, not once, one more barrier, comma, after padlock. Uh, continues to explain. They're talking about a chain. Woman. One of the women's name is Eleanor Vance. I'm not sure if that's the ghost. There's a caretaker again. Pretty sure I went through that. There's gargoyles. That's kind of cool. Um, this one part looks italicized in italics. It says, "Get away from here, get away." And then further down next to the colon, it says, "Put it in." The rest of it says, "Now she felt uneasily that she did not care to cut off her means of departure too completely." So it's kind of graphic. It's about a hill house. Then it rushes to the door. It goes on to show like the rest of the house. It doesn't mention anything about a real estate agent. In quotations, it says, "I don't stay after I set out dinner." Mrs. Dudley went on, "Not after it begins to get dark, period. I leave before dark comes." The next person, or Eleanor, says that she knows. Uh, they go on to explain that over in town, miles away, it says yes, so it's not completely clear. The next chapter begins, really, quite frankly, in the middle of the next page. So it moves kind of fast. There's 4 periods in one part, so that's probably an error. Usually, if there's a pause in somebody when they're talking, there's like 3 periods, not 4. But later they fixed that. It says dot 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 and shook herself again. Really, comma, she told herself, comma, really, comma, Eleanor. Period. That she opened her suitcase. She grabbed her shoes. I'm not sure why anyone would be relieved that they grabbed their shoes in a panic, like living with the paranormal. I can't see how that makes sense. Apparently, she's packing her suitcase, and you get a feeling of isolation. Here's the mother part. Mother would be furious, comma, she had thought, comma, packing the slacks down at the bottom of her suitcase so that she need not to take them out, comma, need never let anyone know she had them, comma, in case she lost her courage. Okay, that part is very like the author was stuttering. Her thoughts were like confused. I'm not quite sure if that's a good excuse, living in a house with the paranormal. In a post-it I wrote, this is Food for thought. So up until now, if you are still wondering, they are talking about being faithful. I spelled that part incorrectly. I really meant to say faithful, like in a marriage, when two people love each other, a man and a woman. In quotations, it says, "Good Lord." That's something Theodora said. Looking sideways at Eleanor, period. How perfectly enchanting. A positive bower. Uh, I am familiar with that term bower, but I'm not sure if that's a word or a town, like a place. Like a place in Bowerstone in the Fable 1, in the Fable series for the Xbox 360. Quotations says, poor baby, you're certainly starving. All I could think of when I got a look at the place from outside was what fun it would be to stand out there and watch it burn down. Maybe before we leave. It was terrible being here alone. You should have seen that boarding school of mine during vacations. Theodora went back into her own room and, with the sense of movement and sound in the two rooms, Eleanor felt more cheerful. She straightened her clothes on the hangers in the wardrobe and her books evenly on the bed table, Theodora called from the other room. It is kind of like the first day at school. Everything's ugly and strange. And you don't know anybody. And you're afraid. It goes on to explain that you're afraid that everybody. It's not really elaborate. The book. It just goes from everyone. It goes to a place, meaning going. Everybody starts to laugh. They're laughing at clothes. So maybe like a store that you visit. You're looking around and you pass like the vinyl records and then the clothes, and then you visit the vinyl records again. You're just going back and forth till you see a gate. You have a chat with someone, and then someone jumps out. There is a lot of grass. You could imagine like a large field with a large grassy field. Theodore is there. And Dr. Montauk. I think they're expecting company. In quotations, it goes on to explain that you think he lives in the Hill House. I think he spends all his weeks, not weeks. That's weeks would be plural, I think, and singular is just 1 week. Yeah, I'm right. That sounds more like it. The week ends here. Today is Saturday, by the way. I swear I saw bats in the woodwork downstairs. Follow, follow. They ran downstairs, moving with color and life against the dark woodwork. Let me skip to the next page before I start to daydream about something off topic. Like I was thinking about the God of War for the PlayStation 4. Sadly, I don't have the PlayStation 4 anymore. I thought it kind of sucked. I think Xbox One is better. Let me know what you think on the comments. If you feel like it, and like this video, or give it a thumbs down if you think I should improve on speaking skills. Write in the comments. Be specific. This is the part where they go to a tennis court. The Hill House has a tennis court. Though I saw the Netflix series, there was no tennis court. There was just a bunch of funerals. The next page says that it was a secret. Maybe the tennis court has like all these vines and leaves everywhere, grass growing, weeds in the cracks of decaying earth. where a tennis court was not supposed to be built. It's supposed to be more like an apartment, not a hill house. So you can imagine like a long road to an apartment. There's not really a surprise party, but it says in quotations that Theodora said something like, she was gasping, by the way, when she said this. They like to surprise you around here. Serve you right if you went diving in, Eleanor said, running like that. It's pretty, isn't it? The water of the brook moved quickly in the little lighted ripples, On the other side, the grass grew down to the edge of the water, and yellow and blue flowers leaned their heads over, colon. I'm around page 50 now. Apparently something's missing. The end of the chapter is close. It says, Eleanor Theodora put an arm across her shoulders. Would you let them separate us now that we've found out we're cousins? That's nice. And then chapter 3 and 3 marks. There's like a part 2. It splits into a 2 and a 3. This is poorly written, actually. There's a difference between writing a book and being more organized. Whoever wrote this, Shirley Jackson, that could be a Caucasian woman or a black woman. I'm pretty sure it's a Caucasian woman. I don't think Africans say the word alas. I don't know too many nerds that are African that would watch Lord of the Rings and say the word alas. You could imagine more like a group of nerds that are American, I guess. It sounds more fitting. I like the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the Hobbit books. It goes on to explain tomorrow. There's a lot of people that would agree with me that you never know what tomorrow might bring. The next page mentions Luke. So I guess that's stupid. It just says tomorrow and then a dash. If I lived in a world of paranormal activity, I mean, I don't know if that would like change me to like a gothic person or like a much darker soul, or if that would make me angry and dress a certain way and carry myself a certain way. My walk kind of changes from straightforward to kind of wobbly at times. It depends on the wind, the trajectory, the temperature of the weather, sunlight, and whether or not it's gloomy and cloudy. It doesn't mention the whereabouts of the doctor. It mentions the Hill House a bunch of times. It goes on to explain the Hill House. I have this really cool bookmark. It's a Strider from The Lord of the Rings. Let me know in the comments if you believe in ghosts or like what your what your head runs through when you talk about ghost stories. Do you like ghost stories? Let me know in the comments below if you like it when people talk about ghost stories and they run through an explanation of a good ghost story, or if you know a good ghost story, write it in the comments. Though I kind of like books better. I like to read a lot. Sort of in the middle of the book here, and they're introduced by a group of people that are talking about the Hill House. They're at home. They begin to what's the term? Contradict each other. So they're having problems right now. Let me know in the comments below if what you find most confusing about living with somebody that is a living person, and then there's ghosts. They finally say goodnight at exactly page 98. It says, "Why is Luke here? But why am I here? Journeys end in lovers meeting." They all saw that I was afraid. She shivered and sat up in bed to reach for the quill at the foot. Then, half amused and half cold, leant, across the room to turn the key in the lock of the door, they won't know I locked it, she thought, and went hastily back to bed. So it looks like it goes on to explain that they're having nightmares as of now in the book. In quotations, it says, "Aren't you ready yet? Coming, coming," Eleanor said, and ran to the door, remembered that it was still locked, and unlocked it softly. Theodore was waiting for her in the hall, vivid in the dullness, in gaudy plaid. Colon, that can't be right. Plaid is spelled more like PLA, and then laid like LAID. That looks misspelled. It's followed by a colon. This part was probably thought up. And then suddenly it's very quiet. Everybody was going to sleep. Though it mentions that they're getting up and they're thinking about it. They're thinking in the night. So their sleep is disturbed. It's still night. mentions death. They're probably having nightmares about people dying in that house. So you could imagine it's like trying to survive a hurricane. Out your window is like a tornado or something, and you gotta hide, and you have to try to stay out of danger. There's a winding staircase. Um, there's Theodora again. Mentions the Hill House. Page 117. Still no mention of what the chapter is called. It's just numerical order. So when you write a book, you gotta choose if you want what you want to name the chapter. You gotta specify what main idea of the chapter was about. Even if it's just a number, you have to follow up. It just goes on to explain the small things of life in this dangerous world of paranormal activity. Because paranormal, they're known to attack the living. So you have to choose your thoughts wisely. At some point, she tells the paranormal to shut up. It doesn't say anything of what the ghost said. That could be Theodora, that could be Eleanor, or Mrs. Dudley. In quotations, this is interesting. It says nail polish and perfume and bath salts. Theodora said, as one telling the cities of the Nile. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think about that? Isn't the Nile supposed to be a river? Were they doing drugs? And of course, there's a draft. Though you gotta admit, this book is a good book for a draft. The whole idea of this book was a draft, and they just went with it. They were drinking beer, and it was cold.